Thank you for joining in. It's time for the next video. So this is gonna be top 10 nights. Top 10 chess nights according to my personal taste, according to my preference, nothing else. This is just my pick. I hope you're gonna enjoy it, and let's waste no more time and start this count. So let's start with the number 10. Okay, and number 10 is gonna be Knight from the Chavet set. It is a very simple knight actually. It is similar to the German knight, but this is more sleek, a little more elegant. A lot of companies made a reproduction of these. They are pretty good, but I find this one particularly nice. So I bought this one at the moment of making this video. These pieces are traveling to me. When they arrive, I'll make a full review of this set. So yes, this is pretty simple knight, but very effective, very playable, very simplistic. I believe every chess collector should have at least one Chavet. It's a pretty nice set overall, and it deserves to get on this list. Alright, so let's move to the number 9. It is Zagreb Knight. Very charismatic. If you ever saw it, you'll remember it. I believe a lot of companies have a decent reproduction of Zagreb. As for example, House on Staunton. And also I put here Leningrad chess pieces, which is also very similar to the Zagreb. Look at this. Very, very similar. So I mentioned them both as a number 9 because of the great similarity between these two knights. Alright, so this was a number 9. Let's move to the number 8. Haha, look at this. I'm gonna say it immediately. This is a wild card at this list. I saw this set quite some time ago, and I remembered it because I found it very interesting. It is not historically relevant, it is just something that Chess Bazaar did. This is something like their signature design. I'm not completely sure, but I could not ignore this knight. It's very charismatic. This is a successful set. Even it's just a hair wider than a base. I prefer when the knight is not wider than its base. It is just a hair wider than a base, so I can really tolerate it. But overall, it's a quite nice design, you know. It works really well with this set. I was searching for something that would distract me from this design. I was searching for some flaws, but no. It's perfect, you know, everything is perfect. The knight and the set, you know. I haven't found any reason why not to buy this. I'm gonna put it on my bucket list. For sure. For sure, this is something, you know, unexpected, but I cannot ignore it. Okay, I'm moving to the next piece. I believe you are familiar with this one. It is a Sinquefield Cup pieces, and this knight is, you know, once you see it, you don't forget it. This is a remarkable knight. Many companies have a reproduction of this. Maybe the same guys made it for this company and maybe for this company. I'm not sure. but it's quite successful knight, very aesthetic, you know. These are grandmasters, so they will give them the best to play on with. So this knight has to be on a list. This is, I believe we can call it like a modern design, modern era knight, but it is so well implemented with this Staunton design family. Try to ignore this knight, you cannot. Okay, moving to the number 6. Historically relevant Morphy knight. Very distinguishing. This is very classy knight. Very classy knight. I could not skip it from this list. This is a serious knight, and it has to be invited to this list. For example, Chess Bazaar also have a reproduction. This was Staunton Castle. I believe a lot of companies have this Morphy reproduction, but for the sake of this video I just pick some companies. I'm not rooting for anybody, I'm just picking what I like, what I see. I believe this Staunton Castle is very nice reproduction of Morphy. This was our number 6. Okay, moving to the number 5. It is 1849. This might be also one of the greatest, if not the greatest, chess design overall of the complete set. This knight is absolutely great. It works so well with this set. This is, for example, the chess store, but the other companies also have greater production. For example, Staunton Castle. Very similar. This is actually 4.4 inch king, so it's a little bit longer, elongated, but this is 3.75. I believe the both reproductions are quite successful. Here's the Chess Bazaar. It is also very similar to the previous two. And this is the, for example, House on Staunton, which is kind of a little bit different than the previous 3. It's a little bit wider, but they are still aiming the same design. So I don't believe you can go wrong with any of these. Maybe my personal pick would be, I don't know, maybe this one, but maybe I would prefer this bishop because it has a little bit smaller cut than this one, but it's you know, it's just a personal taste. It is just variety of beautiful. You cannot go wrong. Alright, this was number 5. Now let's go to the number 4. It is 1950 Dubrovnik Olympiad set. Famous Dubrovnik. There are several successful replica of this design. For example, Staunton Castle, Royal Chess Mall, Noy, Slovenia, and this is a picture of one of the originals. So I have to put it so high because I just love it. I just love it. Maybe I'm a little bit influenced by the whole set, because I really like the whole set, and maybe that adds to the liking the knight. But regardless of that, this knight is just beautiful for me. It works very well with the bishop and with the rook. It's really nice balance. I like it. So this was very high number 4. But now we are getting really serious. We are getting to the peak of the mountain, you know, number 3, like the 3rd place. Are you ready? Yes, the French Lardy, vintage French Lardy. I believe I could talk the most about this set. Moment of silence for this beauty. This knight can run French Revolution on its own. It's so charismatic, it's so well done. I cannot find the right words for this design. This is so remarkable. I don't know. This, what I'm looking at the moment, it's very rare. And if you find something like this to buy on eBay or pages like that, you'll be very lucky, because this is a vintage set, this is not a reproduction. Every company we mentioned so far is failing to make a decent reproduction of the knight. I mean, literally every. I don't know why is that the case, because all these companies can make demanding knights, but for some reason they all fail with this one. This is, for example, another photo of vintage Lardy. This is actually Italian reproduction of the Lardy by a famous company, Dal Negro, made in Italy. This is made in bakelite. It's not wood, it's a special material nowadays used in electronics, and they do not make it like this because it is too expensive. Let's go back to the topic. It is design. This is very similar to this one. And for example, this is also vintage Lardy, but even this is vintage and authentic. I can conclude that there are levels to the aesthetics, even if we talk vintage reproductions only. So it's like, for example, Samsung smartphone, you know, you got the flagship, like top of the top, and you got something, some class, let's say, below the top. So I would say this is top of the top. This is 10 out of 10. And for example, this is just a little bit below, but it's still vintage, still great. For example, this is the same case. It's nice, it's vintage, and I would love to have this, but it is not as remarkable as this one. So this is the holy grail of the French Lardy. This is also nice, but it's not as mystically beautiful as this one. Alright, this was number 3. Now we're gonna move to the big number 2. Cooke luxury chess pieces. Ladies and gentlemen, it cannot go more classy than this. Several companies have a good reproduction of this. Look at this. It cannot go further than this. It's a little bit more beefy, more thicker than its brother 8049, but it is still different. It's a little more thicker, a little more aggressive. What I like about this design, it's not extending over the base, it is just inside the proportion of the base. It's very playable, very playable. That's like the key feature. That's one of the most important things in this list. Usability, playability. I have seen a lot of flashy, beautiful nights which are very wide and all that, but I never get a desire to buy that. I just look at it for a second and I just swipe swipe left, you know. I just don't get a desire to buy it. I always come back to the very playable and very beautiful nights at the same moment. It's so beautiful, it can heal you. Pure class. It cannot go better than this. Alright, are you ready for the number one? Maybe you even guessed it before you saw it. It is the one and only Dubrovnik Fisher. I don't know. For the moment I saw this one, it was the best for me. I was so hooked up on this design. It's in my eyes the most beautiful night I have ever seen. I want to thank this guy to putting this video, to showing us this beauty. Just beautiful. Thanks to Mr. Mike for posting this. Thanks to Mr. Sam. And thanks to Mr. Žiga Novak from Slovenia, Noi, for posting this these beautiful photos of original Dubrovnik. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it, and please write down in the comments which night would you include in this list, and who's your personal favorite, and I'm very looking forward to see your opinion. Bye.